Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. I took just like a mini break from filming and posting videos just because I felt like I needed to take some time for myself, recharge a little bit, but I'm back now and we have a book haul here of all of these books right here. In my last book haul, I ranked all of the books based on my excitement levels to read them. So I felt like this time we would rank them again, but I'm gonna be ranking them based on, I guess, like hype or popularity. So I went on Goodreads and I sorted them by how many ratings they currently have. So I'm gonna start with the ones that are the least rated and go up to the ones that is like the most popular, most rated. And I have to say, I'm actually very surprised at the results. We are going to be starting with the least rated, the least popular. So hopefully this helps you find some books that maybe you haven't heard of. First off, we have The Gulf by Rachel Cochran. This book actually hasn't even come out yet, so there's like no ratings for this. It's a thriller set in this small town following this woman who, her elderly neighbor who is basically like a mother to her, has died. That brings back the woman's daughter, who she has a romantic past with, and they are working together to figure out how this woman died. Next up, The Thick and the Lean by Channel Porter. This one was 1000% a cover buy. I'm obsessed with this cover. This is set in a heavily religious town where abstaining from food brings them closer to God. And it says that it entwines perils of capitalism, body politics, and the stigmas women face for appetites of every kind, and explores the reclamation of pleasure as a revolutionary act. I don't know, it just sounds very interesting. It kind of reminds me of Women Eating, which I loved, and I feel like this one is just gonna have some like very heavy, interesting discussions in it. Oh, I'm so excited to read this. Next up, we have The Thorns Remain by Ja Harwood. This was kindly gifted to me by who also sent me another book that I'll show in a minute. It's like a cozy fantasy, historical, set in the Highlands about the Fae. The very first sentence totally hooked me. It says, "The sun was shining on the day that the village of Broadenoch disappeared." Okay. Tell me more. Next up, we have a book that I had to order internationally because I don't believe this has been published in the US yet, but that is Bitterthorn by Kat Dunn. This is a gothic, sapphic adult fantasy. That sounds amazing. It's about this witch who every century she claims a companion who is then never to be seen from again. The main character offers herself up this time to the witch, and it says she's stranded with her darkly alluring captor. The mystery of what happened to the previous companions draws Mina into the heart of a terrifying secret. Say no more, I had to order this instantly. Next up, we have a book that was sent to me from one of my patrons, Samantha, and I cannot wait to read this. I've been saving it for like the perfect summer day, and that is The Honey Month by Amal El-Mohtar, who was one of the co-authors of This Is How You Lose the Time War, which I love. And this one is a collection of poems, each about honey, so different kinds of honey. I don't know, that just sounds so inventive and amazing, and I love it. And there's also like gorgeous pictures in here. I feel like this is gonna be the perfect book to read like outside on my back patio, taking in summer. Next up, we have the other book that Em sent me, and that is The Fairy Bargain of Prospect Hill by Rowena Miller. This is another like cozy, fae, historical fantasy, and I'm super excited to read that. Next up, we have Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. This is an adult dragon fantasy book that sounds so good. I'm totally in a dragon mood right now. There's gonna be several dragon books in this haul. This one says, long ago, humans betrayed dragons, stealing their magic and banishing them to the dying world. Centuries later, their descendants worship dragons as gods, but the gods remember and they do not forgive. And I believe that the love interest in this book is actually a dragon, and he's like a dragon shifter or something. I could be wrong. That's what the word on the street is. And I think this takes place in a very like queer centric world. I feel like I haven't heard a lot of things about this. There was like a lot of buzz for it before it came out, and then since it's come out, I haven't heard anything, but I think it's gonna be great. Next up, we have The Mimicking of Known Successes by Malka Older. This is like a sci-fi noir, crime, mystery, detective book, which like, say no more. The next one, oh my god, I'm so excited about this one. This was kindly gifted to me by Jordy, and it is Can't Spell Treason Without Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This one has been compared a lot to Legends and Lattes, which you guys know is one of my all-time favorite books. It's cozy fantasy, it's sapphic, it takes place in like a tea shop or a bookshop where they also serve tea. It says it follows a cozy tale of mishaps, mysteries, and a murderous queen where two women will discover just what they mean to each other and the world. So cute. Next up, we have Venko by Cherie Dimaline, and this is a book about witches and this woman who discovers she has this connection to a network of witches. Venko is a front company fueled by dark money. Venko's witches hide in plain sight where women gather, Tupperware parties, mommy and me classes, suburban book clubs. And since colonial times, they've been awaiting this woman. And to be honest, I will buy anything if it's about a witch. Next up, oh my god, this one I'm so excited for. This is Cinnamon and Gunpowder by Eli Brown. Listen to the pitch for this book and tell me, does that sound amazing? So this is about this notorious, murderous female pirate captain who kidnaps this chef and forces him to cook for her and her crew every day, or she's gonna murder him. And I think eventually they fall in love, as one does. I cannot wait for this, and I love this cover. It really reminds me of the show Our Flag Means Death, and I feel like it's just gonna be really fun. Also, oh my god, look at my Lethe house shirt. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Kind of halfway through this haul, I told you guys there's a lot of books. Okay, next up, we have a book that I've read that was kindly sent to me by one of my patrons because I don't have this specific edition, and that is A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher. This is, I think, the international edition. I'm not 100% sure, but I love this cover. I think I like this one better than the US cover, so I'm very excited to have this in my collection. I have already read this. This is a horror book about a woman and a haunted house and vultures. And in typical T. Kingfisher style, it's very weird. Next up, I have two books, part of the same series. These were sent to me by Bloom Books, and that is the Kingmaker series by Kennedy Ryan, which I have really been wanting to read, but I am nervous. Kennedy Ryan makes me so nervous because I know her books are just very heavy and emotional, and you know what, like when I read romances, I'm not trying to cry, okay? These are about people who are, I think, like business rivals. The hero is part of an oil mogul family and they're trying to build an empire. The heroine is protesting the oil pipeline that is threatening to destroy her ancestral land. I don't know, it sounds angsty and like full of drama, and I'm gonna read them, but I am scared. Especially when you have a book following the same couple that is multiple books. That stresses me out because it's like, okay, I know in book one shit is gonna hit the fan because you need plot for book two. And that scares me, okay? Next up, we have In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. This is the Fairy Loot edition, so it's very nice, pretty sprayed edges, you know, typical Fairy Loot beautifulness. Actually recently found out I think this is sci-fi. I don't really know what I would categorize this as because it has robots. Oh my god, oh, wait, look at this little robot. Oh my god, so cute. And a little Roomba. What the hell? Who is that adorable robot? Oh, it says that it is inspired by Pinocchio and the Swiss Family Robinson. It's a heartfelt fantasy adventure. Even a family assembled from spare parts might become whole. Oh my god, kill me, that is so cute. Next up, we have another book that I have read, and that is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. This is a thriller following this woman. She gives a book a bad review and then starts being stalked by the author of that book. I did initially give this 5 stars. Now that I'm like worn off of the like excitement of finishing this book, I would put it more at like a 4.5, but I really loved this book. This was my first Taylor Adams, so I'm definitely gonna read more of his books, but yeah, this was just super fun. Next up, we have a manga, and that is The Girl from the Other Side, Volume 1. I have also read this, and this one is dark, but also cozy. It's about this little girl who finds herself in this like fantasy world where there's these creatures, and she kind of becomes the companion to this like creepy monster man, but it's like super cute. Now we're getting into like the very popular books. Some of these really surprised me. Stinger by Mia Sheridan, who I had never heard of this book. This was sent to me by Bloom. I know Mia Sheridan has some pretty popular romance books. I've never read any of her books, but this one says that it is about an adult film star, a badass lawyer in Las Vegas, and it says, oh no, we're stuck in an elevator. I actually really love that trope, so I think I want to read this. Let me know. Have you guys read this? Is it good? Again, I know nothing about it. Next up, we have another witch book, and that is Wayward by Amelia Hart. This one takes place over 3 different time periods: 2019, 1619, and 1942. It's weaving together 3 stories of women across 5 centuries. I believe like the descendants from the Salem witch trials. This was another book that was completely a cover buy. This is probably one of my all-time favorite book covers. Like, if I could make my entire house look like this cover, I would. Next up, we have Boy Parts by Eliza Clark. This was sent to me by the publisher. This is a literary fiction book about art and obsession. It's about a woman who has an obsession with taking explicit photographs of average-looking men that she persuades to model for her. And what's interesting is that every chapter starts out with a guy's name. So we have Will, Dean, Eddie from Tesco. Next up, we have another book that was kindly gifted to me from Effie, and that is Hex by Thomas Oldhovelt. And this is a translated horror book about this little town that is being haunted by this witch. And it says the elders of Black Spring have quarantined the town, and then the town's teenagers decide to break that quarantine in order to go viral with the haunting. I'm so excited to read this. I think I'm gonna try to read this during Summerween. All right, we are into our final 4 books, our top 4 most popular books, 2 of which are dragon books. We have A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. This one sounds so good. It is about Lady Trent, who is famous for being the world's most prominent naturalist and historian of dragons. This book is like her memoir studying dragons. There's also beautiful, beautiful illustrations in here of dragons. Like, come on, amazing. Look at them, look at all the dragons. Oh my God. Okay, then we have a book that I have read, and this is probably one of the most stunning special edition books that I own, and that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. I literally have a vlog where I read this book, and I have just not posted it. I'm super behind on all of my reading vlogs, I'm gonna be honest, but I did read this over a month ago, and I loved it. This is a cozy fantasy book following this woman named Tress who lives on a rock, and the man that she loves gets kidnapped, and she goes on this adventure to rescue him, and that brings her across pirates and dragons and an evil sorceress, and it was just so fun. But this edition is stunning. It's a beautiful, like, leather bound. There's really beautiful artwork in here throughout the book. Hold on, let me find you an artwork that's not spoilery. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Like, this was my first Brandon Sanderson book, and I had a really great time with it. The vlog where I read this will definitely come out sometime. I don't know when, but I'm very behind on my videos, okay? Speaking of which, another book that I recently read and I vlogged, but I still haven't posted that video yet. And this is what sent me on my obsession with dragons and why I have so many dragon books now. Can you guess what it is? Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. My new obsession, the new love of my life. Look, I wish I could sit up here and be like, I'm so not like other girls. This book was basic, but it was amazing. And yes, I do have the sprayed edges. This book is giving what The Hunger Games and Divergent gave, and I feel like it made me feel so nostalgic for that and why I fell in love with reading. It is just so much fun, and it has a main character who has a disability, and I felt like it was so realistic. She works really hard to prove to everyone that she is capable with her disability and becoming like a fierce, badass dragon rider. The romance was amazing. Like, okay, I'm gonna save all of my thoughts for the vlog, but I think this is my favorite book of the year. Who would have guessed? Okay, and now we have the most popular book, which when I started ranking all of these, I 100% thought it was gonna be Fourth Wing. And it's not. It is not. I was so shocked by what is actually the most popular book. And that is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. And I think I have to give credit to the Book Talk girlies because that's probably why this is so popular. This was also sent to me from Bloom. Bloom has been my sugar daddy lately. They just send me everything and I love it. This is book 1 of her new series. I actually think she's a couple books into this series now. I have not started it. It is an arranged marriage, I'm assuming, because they also sent me an invitation to the wedding in Italy. Ooh, does this book take place in Italy? It follows a CEO who is blackmailed, and that forces him into an engagement with a woman he barely knows, and he will now do anything to destroy their engagement. But the only problem is, now that he has her, he can't bring himself to let her go. Okay, I get it. I see. Okay, I love arranged marriage, so I will be reading this very soon. Thank you very much. So that was my book haul. I feel like at the end of every one of my book hauls lately, I've been saying that I probably won't have another book haul for a while. But who am I kidding, okay? I need to stop lying to myself because the truth is, I probably will have another book haul very soon, especially now that it's summer. I don't know what it is about summer. Maybe it's the heat rays soaking into my brain and making me make bad choices, but I will be buying a lot more books, so there will be another book haul probably very soon. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and check out my Patreon where I post tons of exclusive content like readathons, weekly reading sprints, a book club and a discussion, private Discord server, and tons of exclusive videos you can only find on Patreon. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!